And welcome to the OHIO podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and you are you. And we're thankful you decided to join us this evening for another great live edition of the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind right now. Go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Ring the bell. Get notified every time we go live. And of course, let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. If you're not watching this live, if you are, take part in the chat. It's good to have so many of you with us right now. And of course, you can take us wherever you go via podcast. Wherever you'd like to download your podcast, just go ahead and make sure you look up the OHIO podcast. Subscribe, give us a 5-star review if you don't mind. That would help us reach more people just like you, and we absolutely appreciate that. All right, joining us this evening for tonight's panel below me is the marvelous one herself. She is the host of the Illuminati podcast. She is the recruiting coordinator for the OHIO podcast. Good evening, Mika.
How is everyone tonight?
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Dropped a new episode of the Illuminati today. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do so.
Absolutely, go check it out. Down in the description below this video, you will find a link to not only the Illuminati podcast, which is a partner of the OHIO podcast, but the Spectrum podcast. That's TG's podcast as well. Also joining us there diagonally to me, that is our film guru himself, former college player, Knoxville Nate. Who is on location, on a secret location somewhere, which is why you cannot see him. What's going on, Nate?
Not a whole lot. Good to see you guys. I promise you I am here. You just can't see me. I'm behind the curtain tonight.
No.
He's actually in prison. This was his one phone call he got. So he decided to take that one phone call, spend it all with us. No, I'm just kidding. Good to have you with us, Nate.
He's probably chilling someplace tropical.
Someplace tropical.
I wish. That sounds great.
While we're freezing our butts off.
And blinding you right now with the beautiful shine off the top of his forehead. That would be one King Kong Bart. How's it going this evening, sir?
I'm doing really good. Just freezing my butt off, and I'm glad I have extra layers on me of fat that can keep this warm. So
this is where men like you and I, we are in our element, I guess you could say.
I turn 52 tomorrow, and the older I get, I used to wear shorts in the wintertime, and I do not do that now. I'm just cold. So I think just older you get, the more colder you get.
52?
52.
Happy birthday, big dog.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm getting up there, and it kind of sucks being on this panel because I'm the least knowledgeable of all you guys. And, Mika just dropping bombs with recruiting all the time, and Knoxville Nate, he just knows everything. So
I know some people that would argue with you on that.
I did see your sister on Facebook with the Ohio podcast hoodie.
Yeah, man, she's up in New York City rocking the Ohio podcast. So
yes, that is awesome.
There's a lot of people up there seeing that thing right now because she is always bouncing around New York City every day. So there's a lot of we're getting lots of visuals on our logo at the moment.
That's good.
That's awesome.
That's right. Free advertising. I like that. Tell her thank you for me. All right, guys. We got two really good, interesting topics tonight. And I'm just going to go ahead and tease it. I don't know when. Maybe the super secret after show over on Patreon. Vader just dropped a nuclear bomb on me tonight.
What?
And, yeah. I mean, it might be the biggest.
How nuclear is it?
Let's just say when I read it.
Kojima here?
When I read it, I'm pretty sure I became radioactive.
Oh,
wow!
So that's got to be an after show party.
Well, as long as I get the okay from him to go with it, then yeah, we'll go ahead and drop that in the after show.
Real quick, is it a good radioactive or bad radioactive? And you thinking about it, it's not good.
No, it depends who you are, who you're a fan of. I would say the majority of people are going to like this news,
Are
Yeah.
but
you
they're
go-
all.
are you going to like it?
Um, I kind of do, but at the same time, you're gonna like it, but it's gonna frustrate you because you're gonna be like, well, what the heck? I mean, it's you'll have to just wait. All
Okay.
right, let's
I
dive
know
into it.
I'm worried.
I am too. Come on. You're our pod father. You're our leader. If you don't like it, you're confused. We're all going to.
No, I'm. It's not that I don't like it. It's just frustrating.
Check and see
Okay.
if you have spider powers, if you're radioactive now.
What's that? Is that how he does that?
Can you
Yep.
make Knoxville Nate's video work? Are you that radioactive?
No, unfortunately, I'm not.
That would be cool.
Okay, we can stop goofing now. Sorry, my comic book nerd came out.
Ohio State got a new recruit today. He is a big-time offensive lineman out of the Ivy League, Dartmouth. Vashawn Washington decided he was going to go ahead and be a Buckeye for his 5th and final season in college football. He is from Ohio. This is straight up the one and only offensive lineman we are going to get in the transfer portal. This gives us 16 offensive linemen, which basically is where we're going to be set going into the season as far as scholarship linemen. So the question is, are you happy with that? Or do you think Ohio State should have done more in going into the transfer portal and spending some cash on some offensive linemen? I think my answer tonight to that question might actually surprise some people. But we'll start with you first, Bart. We'll go around clockwise tonight. So it'll be Bart, Nate, then Mika, then myself. Go ahead, Bart.
It does and doesn't. I think with Arthur Smith being a former offensive lineman, I think he's going to get the best out of these guys. He might be putting them in a position, since he played that position, to put them to be successful. So I think we see a different offensive line. We know that they performed in our national championship, run last year. So we know they're capable of it. They're going to be one more year seasoned veterans. I don't know if there was that many great offensive linemen in the portal this year. Seaton was probably one of them, but he had so much baggage we didn't want to deal with it. But I also think that I think we're forgetting about Sam Greer, and I would like to hear Mika's take on that later and what she thinks if he's going to contribute at all next year. He seems like he can be ready to step in, but I'm not real. Obviously, you'd like more people, but I think they got burned last year with Ethan not living up to his abilities. Philip Daniels was okay. He didn't set anything on fire. I think they got burned, and I think a little cautious on offensive linemen last year. So I'm good with this group, and we'll see if Arthur Smith can do anything with him.
Yeah, I am going to take the opposite viewpoint than Bart. I mean, what was the reason that we lost the last 2 games? Right? We got sacked 10 times, 5 times in each game. We didn't have enough time to throw the ball. We couldn't, score inside the red zone. When the field shrunk, and our left tackle, let's be honest, in that Miami game was getting knocked backwards into our quarterback and our running back. So I'm confused as to why you wouldn't go and add at least one guy. I guess we did add one guy, but this is a guy, let's be honest, from Dartmouth. I mean, nothing against him. I'm glad we got him. He can come in and provide some depth, but this guy's not going to start. Why we wouldn't go and spend some money and get at least one offensive lineman to compete, to add to the mix is beyond me. Maybe you don't want to spend $5 million and get Jordan Seaton, but there's other guys out there. Carius Kern from LSU, Melvin Ciani from Wake Forest, Lance Hurd from Tennessee, Jacarius Peak from NC State. There was a lot of guys that maybe weren't going to turn the world around, but they could have helped us. Maybe this says that that our coaching staff really likes Carter Lowe. the kid from Toledo that was a freshman last year. Maybe it says they really like Ian Moore and some of these other guys, but I don't know why you wouldn't go out and spend a little money on an additional tackle. Who did we really spend money on in the portal? I mean, I guess James Smith probably commanded some cash.
Defensive backs,
Yeah.
and D linemen.
But we didn't spend any money really on offense, and I don't understand why we wouldn't put somebody in the mix. And just because you miss on one guy doesn't mean that you don't try again. I mean, I live here in Knoxville now, so I'll use a basketball example. Rick Barnes, missed on Tyreek Key a couple years ago. Did he stop using the portal and going after guys? No, he got Dalton Connect, then he got Chaz Lanier, and now he's got Jacoby Gillespie, which are all really good players. There's no reason why you shouldn't go and keep trying. And I really think it was a mistake to not upgrade. Probably, in my opinion, our weakest position group.
Nico.
I agree. I think we should have brought in more, but I do like the young guys that we have. I think Ian Moore is going to be special. I like the growth of Luke Montgomery and Josh Padilla and guys like that, and I really am high on Carter Lowe and Sam Greer. I think Sam Greer is going to surprise some people. I think he could see time early just because of his body type and how he's built and how long and strong he is. Same with Carter Lowe. I expect him to take a big step forward. So I like the guys that we have, and I'm not counting out the young guys that we have at all. I think they're going to take a big next step, and I think Arthur Smith is going to play a huge role in offensive line development. And between his experience and Tyler Bowen, I like where we're headed. And like I said, I like the young guys. I like Rashawn. He's from Springfield. And thing is, he had like 700 and some snaps and only gave up one sack. So he wasn't a slouch. Yes, I know it's Ivy League, but that's still impressive.
You know what you have to be in order to go to school in an Ivy League?
Very, very smart.
Very, very intelligent. Whether he plays or not,
Smarter than me.
congratulations, brother, on a successful life, my man. Because you have he graduates in March too, so he's not with the team. I think he's gonna join the team after he graduates from Dartmouth in March, and then he'll come to Ohio State, and who knows, probably work on his doctorate degree at that point. Smart dude. Like you said, only gave up one sack as a starter. It's not going to hurt to have extra depth.
Yeah.
And if he's a lot better than everybody anticipated, and he breaks the two deep and he gives you more depth, great. But to answer the initial question, why didn't we go out and get a bigger name? Can I tell you? I think they like who we got.
Sports betting on.
100%.
I do. I think this offensive line. I am not. A lot of people we need to go get an offensive lineman. We need to get an offensive. I saw the poll on 11 Warriors where it was like over 50% were like, no, we should have got an offensive lineman. That we're not happy with this group. I think that this group absolutely can take the next step and be championship level next season. Let's not poo-poo the fact that we've got, let's see, Carson Hinsman, 3-year starter. Austin Severeveld, 2-year starter. Luke Montgomery, 2-year starter, plus he started on the national championship team in that playoff run, right? All three of those guys are coming back. They like Ian Moore. They threw him in at the end. He looked great when Austin got hurt. That's giving you more depth. Might be your left tackle to start off. You can kick Carson over at guard, and you know he can ball at guard. If Josh Padilla, who I think should be the starting center, gets in there, then I mean we got pieces all over the place.
Hats off to Sean for that theory.
Yeah, well,
that, and that's a great idea. I agree.
Padilla was the backup center, and he got plenty of center snaps the last 2 years as the backup center. He definitely can come in and relieve that. So I look at this offensive line. I'm going to be their biggest cheerleader. Like I've told myself this offseason, I'm going to push them and push them and push them because I feel like they can be what we need them to be, what we envision them being. I believe that. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of like, I guess, put that credit on that, cheer on credit. That I think that they're going to be that. I call me crazy, but I do. I feel like this offensive line is going to be legit. Yes,
I 100% agree. And I was going to say, were they bad last year?
Tegra, that's it.
You look at our last 2 games. We played probably the top 2 defensive lines in all of college football.
And they had bad games. Let's not sugarcoat it. They had bad games.
But guess what? They made everybody in that playoff look bad. Miami and Indiana did to every team. And we still should have beat them. An inexperienced Bo Jackson that maybe not hit the holes. They could have looked better. And Julian Sayin take another leap of actually finding receivers that he had in the Miami game, that he took a sack instead of seeing the right receiver. So I think I completely agree that if you're going to listen to Ross Bjork and say, we only got so much money to spend, they spend it in the appropriate areas. And if you take some offensive linemen that you might not be able to get an Earl Little or a receiver or something like that. So I completely agree with you. I think they think they're good with that line, and they've done it once, and I think they can do it again.
Yeah, and I'm not ripping on the guys we have. I like the guys we have. I'm Johnny Positive all the time. My only concern is, what if somebody goes down? What if somebody doesn't get better? Why not add another piece to the puzzle? Why not spend? I mean, I understand there's only so much money to go around, but some of these teams aren't having any trouble adding guys. Some of these guys are having no trouble coming up with cash. So I'm confused on that as well. I know we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think this is my theory. I think they looked at who they had coming back and keeping them, and they took that money and they valued keeping these guys who've been in the system, who have the experience, and we're going to give them the money instead of going out and trying to get another piece. And now all of a sudden, the money that we were going to give them, we are giving to someone else, and they walk and leave on us. Yeah. I think it was a financial decision. That's just my 2 cents.
And I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they've got everybody they need, and that I'm wrong, and that we're good to go. But let's be 100% honest here. Our schedule's harder next year than it was this year. We play a lot better competition next year. We play a lot better edge rushers, defensive lines. We're going to see a lot more of like we saw. I'm not saying everybody's going to be Miami. I'm not saying everybody's going to be Indiana, but we are going to play Indiana for sure. We are going to play Michigan. We're going to play a lot of teams, USC, that have some talented guys. And, what I saw the last 2 weeks and honestly in a couple of the other games concerns me.
I also think that Arthur Smith does the same thing that Chip Kelly does, if I'm correct. The zone blocking scheme where they excelled in his 1 year. So if they can bring that back and get it makes it easier for him, you've got to believe in Arthur Smith, that a former lineman that can get the best out of him. And maybe just last year was an aberration of putting the people in the wrong places.
You're correct, but he does run his zone blocking scheme.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully they don't have to learn a whole new system. Maybe, but I think they're going to flourish under him.
I'm hoping we run more OPO tempo type stuff, and that's going to help cover up some weaknesses too, I think.
Well, I wouldn't hold your breath, Mika, because we've been talking about up tempo for how many years now, and it just seems like Day does not want to do that. I think we all clamor for it, and once they did it last year in the championship and the tournament, we just killed everybody.
Yep.
So the offensive line is, I mean, it's so cliche to say, Bart. It really is, but at the same time, don't you feel like we almost kind of have to? we almost kind of have to say it at this point. As the offensive line goes this season, so goes the team,
Well, that's football. You
right?
defensive
I know
line,
it's
offensive
cliche,
line.
but
You need to spend the money and everything. And I do agree with Nate. Is if you have a great offensive line, you can make a mediocre quarterback pretty good, a
Exactly.
running back pretty good. If you have a good defensive line, you can make a good quarterback scramble and make him a bad quarterback. So I do agree with him that we probably should have did everything, but I think they want to run a fine line of who to spend the money on, and I think they did a good job. But if that first sack comes the first week, we're all going to be screaming that they needed an offensive
Yeah.
lineman. So
Well, and why not get one guy? I mean, I don't I mean, as we said, we got the guy from Dartmouth, but why not get? I mean, why not add one body? I mean, look at Texas this year. Obviously, one of Texas's biggest problems, in my opinion, was their offensive line. Well, they went out and added some guys. They lost some guys too, but they made changes. And look, last year, the year before, when we went on the championship run, what was one of the main reasons that we went on that run? It was because our offensive line came together. Donovan Jackson stepped up big time, and we started pushing people backwards. And even when the other teams knew we were going to run the ball, we were able to do it because we were knocking guys backwards. And I think that's going to be, what we're going to need to do this year. And as we look at the schedule down here, it's going to get a lot tougher. We got Oregon, we got USC, we got Texas, we got Illinois, we got the team up north. Nebraska won't be terrible. Iowa is good. There's a lot more talent on this schedule than what we had this year, and I'm hoping these guys get a lot better.
And looking at it from a recruiting standpoint, though, like these recruits can come in, and if they ask the current players, they can say, "Oh yeah, they they upped my pay because they value offensive linemen here," so that could attract younger, high end uh, recruits to take a longer look at Ohio State from a
True.
longevity standpoint.
True,
Too.
and I agree with that. But we missed out on David Sanders. We missed out on several high-end O linemen that we were in the running for. So usually, with most teams, if they miss out on a particular position with the big names they're going after, they then supplement that with the portal. So I'm confused as to why we didn't do that.
I agree with you, and I understand that, but I think we value the development in the guys that we've had, and we did everything we could to keep them.
no, I
if they're
no,
go ahead, Bart.
no,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I completely agree with Sage. I was going to say that you can make a offensive line look really good with two elite running backs we had a couple years ago in Junkins and Henderson. They're probably top 10 running backs, top 15 running backs in the NFL right now, each of them. So they've made them look good, and I think Bo Jackson missed some holes that maybe would have made that line look better. That maybe he won't miss this year. So let's not put it all on the offensive line, but we'll see. I'm anxious to see how they do.
You son of a gun.
Wow.
Really? RDCB? Really?
Boggs the cheerleader.
That is a beautiful photo.
Oh my God! I see that photo. Where is that photo from, Eric?
He took my picture and he went to AI and
Are you sure that's AI or that looks like a real picture? Honestly,
I need to see him. I need to see his yearbook. That looks like a real picture. Like
it really does.
all right. So
Uh-oh,
I got the approval from Vader on Patreon only. We're going to start to drop this information. We have to be very strategic about it, Vader said, and it will only be on Patreon. I cannot mention in certain names, he said. So this is very sensitive material. We need to be very careful with it. So if you guys need to know what this is, man, make sure you're a member over on Patreon.
Are we talking about your cheerleading outfit, or what are we?
No, that I don't know what the heck that is.
You sure Vader didn't drop that nugget, the picture on RDC?
That is not a that is a poop nugget's what that is. That's an RDCB nugget's what that is.
That's a full-on dingleberry right there.
Mika with a dingleberry reference. There you go. Was that on your bingo card tonight, everybody?
No.
Hey, and let's be honest here. If you drop that on Patreon, it needs to stay on Patreon too.
Absolutely.
We don't want to get Vader in trouble. We don't need anybody else like, oh, let's share this on Scoop or anything. This stays on Patreon because that's what you pay for.
Correct. And we'll express that over there. Now, as far as positions that are developmental positions, the two biggest are offensive lineman and quarterback. You can't just walk in as a freshman in college and expect to be, I mean, it's 1 in a million to have a freshman season where you're like an All-American, and lead your team to a national championship at quarterback. It's so rare. It is so, has it happened? Yes. It's just so rare. Offensive line, we've had one stud freshman that started as from game 1 as a freshman, Orlando Pace. Corey Stringer started after 4 games, I think it was, that Wargo said. So it doesn't happen. It's a developmental position. And I think
Jordan.
What's that, Mika?
We had Michael Jordan too.
And I said stud.
Yeah. He started early too.
And he
started, but he was not a stud.
Okay. He didn't really play football, so.
Yeah, wrong Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
No, you're right, Mika. He was a freshman, but he was not Orlando Pace, right?
No.
And even I don't know what his NFL career was kind of short too, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played for the Bengals for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not much.
So
DeWan got in there a little bit as a freshman at Tubley, but he didn't start or anything until later in the year, maybe. Yeah.
So my point is it's a developmental position. Now, that being said, we'd had a poll starting off. Let's go ahead and close the poll out here. So we had, according to the poll, 34 people voted, 47 watching, only 34 participating. But all you television watchers, thanks for watching us on your TV. I bet that picture of me in a cheerleading outfit on your TV is really scary. Did Ohio State do enough in the transfer portal on the O-line? 53% of you said no. 47% said yes. Very, very close. But the majority, like I said, like I saw in the other poll on another site, more than not, people are saying, you didn't do enough in the portal for the O-line.
How could you say we did enough? We didn't get anybody that's going to compete for a starting job. So I guess that's what I'm confused about, is how someone could assume we did enough in the portal. I really thought we would add at least, one body. I didn't think we needed to
I don't know that in all honesty, getting a All-American left tackle out of the portal. Sign anybody up for that, right? But what does that do for the locker room for them guys who've busted their butts for 3 or 4 years, who didn't jump into the portal, who stuck with the program, who are developing, who are good linemen, to say, I just don't think you're good enough. Now, to your point, Nate, if I thought this offensive line was trash, I would be like, doesn't matter. We need to go to the portal. We need to go now. But I don't think they're trash. I think they're good, and I think they're going to be very good this year.
Yeah.
That's why I'm wearing that cheerleading outfit.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I hope you're right. But, we had some young 5-star recruits who came out of high school who haven't done a whole lot in college, but certainly have a lot of potential. And people came and stole those guys. How many calls did our backup linemen get? I don't know if any. Maybe some of them did, and they chose to stay. But let's be honest, man. This college football thing has changed. Guys are coming and going. Even the Ohio State University had 27 guys that that jumped shark. And that's going to continue to happen. I mean, that's the world we live in now. And if we could have made our team better by bringing in additional guys, if other guys have a problem with it, so be it. If guys aren't getting to play, they're probably going to leave anyway because, as we've seen, there's no restrictions. I don't have a problem with bringing in competition. I think competition makes teams better. And, I'm hoping that I'm wrong on this, but I'm worried a little bit about this O-line.
Well, we didn't lose anybody other than Tegra that was that played on the offensive line last year?
Correct.
I mean, so they know that they're going to get it. They know that they're going to play. We lost a lot in other areas. We didn't lose very much on offensive line. But your point, Eric, about the team and the locker room and stuff like that, bringing somebody in, that's the portal. It doesn't matter what position group you are. If you bring somebody in and somebody's done that for 3 or 4 years, it's going to be a bad locker room juju, but that's what we have these days. I completely agree, but yeah.
I mean, there are some positions that got completely gutted, and we had to go to the portal. Defensive back being one of them.
Yeah.
The safety position because of players who graduated or left early, left the program. You didn't have enough freshmen coming in to have enough depth to even field a roster. And I saw, I think I heard. What did I hear? We have 90 scholarship athletes on the football team, which is more than we've ever had in this era.
I did read that.
So it's not like the cupboard is bare.
Yeah.
And I just, out of all the positions that they just didn't attack in the portal, it was the offensive line. I just believe it was strategic. I felt like the coaching staff was like, no, we're going to purposely not do that because we think we've got what it takes. Could be wrong, but that's just my thought.
Would you, Eric, a quick question. Would you take an elite left tackle and not get, because of NIL money, and leave 2 other meaningful full-time starters off that what we got in the portal? That you make another offensive,
I wouldn't, because I feel like we have good enough pieces already.
Yeah.
Especially given the fact that everyone has harped on how bad the offensive line was the last 2 games, and social media being what it is, these coaches can say whatever they want. There's no way I believe that they don't see that. So I think if they really, really felt that was something that was needed, they would have brought in more guys. I think it reflects our confidence in what we have that we didn't bring in more guys.
Yeah, and Troy brings up a good point. So on the Downs to Business podcast today, Caleb and Tate were talking about this very thing, about how that they're pocket watching each other in the locker room. It's a human thing to do. We do it at work, in our jobs. Someone gets a raise and you're like, wait a minute, I do more work than them. What are they getting a raise for? So it's a very human thing to do, and it does affect the locker room. So I don't know. I just feel like this is a strategic thing to do. But to my point, the offensive line is an incredibly high-end developmental position. The other one, quarterback. I'm about to play for you guys a audio clip from an On3 podcast. Andy Staples is talking with Ari Wasserman. Ari Wasserman used to be on the beat at Ohio State. He's now a national recruiting expert for On3. And Andy Staples has a theory about the quarterback position at Miami. I want you to listen to his reasoning behind why he believes this at Miami. And then I want to ask you the question, does Ryan Day have the right approach when it comes to the quarterback position, or should he abandon it and go the way of Miami? Let's listen in.
Philosophically, they are a transfer QB program, and more specifically, a transfer QB probably kind of the last year of your college career before you head to college or before you head to the NFL, that kind of program. And I can't argue with the results the first 2 years. Like, Ari, I don't think I would. They had the best offense in college football being run by the future #1 draft pick in the NFL draft, which Cam Ward would not have been anywhere near #1 had he gone out the year before. And then Carson Beck was coming off elbow surgery. Doesn't sound like Georgia really wanted him back. He was going to go to the draft. And then Miami threw a bag at him, and he's like, sure, I'll come to Miami. And he takes them to the national championship game. So I cannot argue with this philosophy right now. This seems like what you probably should be doing in this day and age. Philosophically, they are.
All right. So there is Andy Staples' idea of Miami, and he's saying, I can't argue the fact that Mario Cristobal has made the decision to just go to the portal every year for a quarterback. And that is the winning formula for them. This is year number 3 of going to the transfer portal. You see the picture there of Darian Mensah, who came to terms with Duke, thus being released of his 2-year contract there on Chapel Hill, or Chapel Hill's North Carolina. Sorry, that was Duke people probably just about blew it up on me.
Durham.
Whatever. Durham, thank you.
Hate mail for that.
Well, I'm not a fan of either one. Anyways, so Darian Mensah gets his ability to leave Duke. He then signs. 2 hours later, he's in Miami, signing his contract with Miami. This will be the 3rd different starting quarterback from the portal in 3 years at Miami. They've had success doing it. This guy's numbers last year were fantastic, just under 4,000 passing yards. I think it was 38 touchdowns or something like that to 6 interceptions, maybe 39 passing touchdowns. I think he had a rushing touchdown as well. Started off at Tulane, was like a 3-star quarterback no one wanted. He went to Tulane, redshirted in 2023, started in 2024, had a great year, hit the portal, went to Duke, signed the 2-year contract, gets out of that contract because he has a stellar year, and is getting the absolute biggest NIL bag in the history of college football is what I'm hearing. So, yeah, of course he wanted to get out of that contract because he had millions sitting there on the table for him. Is Ryan Day's philosophy of recruiting, developing, starting a quarterback for a year under his system, letting him then develop that first year into the second year, is that the way to go? Or should we go the way of the portal? Because the last time Ryan Day went to the portal, we won a national championship with Will Howard. Bart.
It depends on who the coach is. Ryan Day, 100%, he's doing what is completely correct. If he really believes that he is a QB quarterback and can develop somebody, he is doing the exact right thing, and he has a history of developing quarterbacks. So why would you want to put somebody in your system for a year? Although Will Howard, but you have to understand that Kyle McCord, he didn't really believe in him, and he didn't have that much coming up behind him. So if he's developed these quarterbacks and they're not developing as well as he thinks he is, then go to the portal. An every year portal thing is not the solution. Although in the championship game, you could defend that Indiana has been very successful the last couple years. But you have to hit every time on those, because if your quarterback isn't that great or doesn't live up to expectations, you're screwed. I went to ChatGPT and just kind of put, what's the success rate for portal quarterbacks in Division I? What do you think, Eric? What do you think that percentage is that quarterbacks are successful at their new school?
Well,
and success means they did better than the year before. They took never heights. They would say, hey, it was an upgrade and you did great.
I'm going to say it's probably lower because there's so many of them that leave.
Yeah. What do you think that percentage is?
35%.
45.
Yeah, 45.
Let's say 47.
Yep, 45% of those are successful. That's are you going to determine your college, 'cause let's just say the quarterback takes your team as far as they can. If you don't have a great quarterback, you're not going to go that far. But his success rate in the past has really hit. And when he didn't think it was going to hit, he went to the portal. And I think he has the success, with Julian Sand. He's going to be better this year. But guess what? St. Clair's going to be in that system. This will be the 3rd year when he gets a start. And a 3rd year in his program and under Ryan Day, I think he's going to thrive. unless you have that knowledge and you could be able to be a quarterback coach like that, I don't think it could work doing that. But you just have to hit every time to be successful.
Yeah, and I mean, let's go back and look at Ohio State starting quarterbacks the last few years. I mean, has he been missing? I mean, Cardale Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields. I mean, you guys know the names here. It's not like he's been whiffing. I mean, C.J. Stroud. Kyle McCord was probably the worst one, and he wasn't terrible. Was he my favorite quarterback we've had at Ohio State? No, but he's been bringing guys in, developing them, and they've been having pretty good success. Now, when Kyle didn't look good, he went out and got somebody, and we made this guy work. I wasn't even really that thrilled with getting Will Howard, to be honest with you, when they pulled him in, but it ended up working out for sure. But here, then you've got to do it every year. And then, like Bart said, 45%, you got a 50-50 chance the guy may or may not work. Now, if you're dropping $10 million and getting the number one guy every year, maybe you're doing all right. But let's be really honest here. Did Carson Beck take Miami to the championship game?
No, that was his roster.
Yeah, his roster. Yeah, their defense was absolutely legit. They had guys, they had two good ends. They had good defensive tackles. They had a great secondary. Malachi Toney was absolutely legit. They had Mark Fletcher, who was one of the best running backs in all of college football. They got the other kid out of North Dakota State, who was a good running back. It wasn't Carson Beck that led them to the national championship. If anything, he almost kept them out of it because of his games against Louisville, where he threw 4 interceptions, and SMU, where he looked like turd. So, I don't think Carson Beck was a good example here. Now, you can do it that way. It's worked for Curt Cignetti. He's hit on pretty much 2 in a row. But we'll see, if Josh Hoover works out, that's 3 in a row. But I think the way you do it is you go out, especially if you're a program like Ohio State, who has had so many good quarterbacks in a row, as I just mentioned, Haskins, Fields, Stroud, Will Howard, Julian Sayin. And now we've got Tavian St. Clair waiting in the wings. So you go with the guys that you recruit, that you have a relationship with, that you feel like fit your program, that want to be here. And hopefully you get a couple years out of them like we have here. 12-0 this year with Julian Sayin, and he's coming back next year. I think that's the way you go with it if you can do it that way.
And I 100% agree with Bart and Nate. Like, there's something to be said for developing that relationship, and not only does it serve you well, it allows the coach to be able to know that he can lean on you. I mean, if what went down in the Michigan game went down with a transfer portal guy, if Ryan Day didn't have the relationship like he did with Sayin, I think he would have tightened up a lot more. But because he knew enough to trust Sayin and trust the thumbs up and built that relationship with him, he didn't tighten up like I think he normally would have. And let's be honest, Will Howard was not Will Howard until he got to Ohio State. We fixed a lot of his issues.
What do you mean by that, Mika?
We fixed a lot of his mechanical issues. We fixed his progression issues. His arm got stronger. His lower body mechanics, he raved about how we helped him mechanically. His release was better. It's night and day if you go back and compare his Kansas State film to his Ohio State film. We fixed a lot of his issues.
One of the things we didn't have to fix, though, was his leadership.
Yeah.
His moxie, his gamesmanship, his give a darn. Basically everything that McCord wasn't. I digress. I'm going to get off of that.
Does this give us a leg up on recruits? They can, hey, you're going to get there, you're going to get developed and play, or a high-level recruit going to another college and they get a portal quarterback. It's like, hey, I'm going to go to Ohio State where I could play maybe next year or get developed. Where do we get Saban from? We got him after Saban left, obviously, but is that the way that we can take it? Is we have a chance now because we are known as a school that develops quarterbacks instead of getting portal guys to fix our program.
Absolutely.
That could help us.
Absolutely. I think quarterback recruits pay attention to that.
It could, but it also can set you back a year.
How is that? It can set you back 2 years.
McCord.
Yeah, but McCord, I think, was an outlier. I think a lot of that had to do with his relationship with Marvin Harrison too.
As to why he was so highly recruited in high school. Yeah, that was Aaron, or my original Aaron, my original co-host, used to say the reason why Kyle McCord was a 4-star was because Marvin Harrison was a 5-star. That was his famous saying, and it panned out to be absolutely true. He was not a big fan of Kyle McCord coming out of high school.
Yeah.
He didn't think he was an Ohio State caliber quarterback. Yes. All right, hold on, Mika. You keep interrupting, dude. Just wait. I'll call on you. All right. That being said, Bart, I'll go to you first, then Nate, then Mika. That being said, you're convinced, 100%, Ryan Day's on the right path with his quarterback philosophy when it comes to recruiting, development, not necessarily going to the portal.
100%. And what Nate was saying, it's going to set you back. Well, you're going to miss on recruits. We do all the time, but guess what? You get usually one a year. And if you miss on that, guess what? There's portal. But when you go to the portal route every year and you miss, you're going to miss that whole year. You don't have another opportunity like you have a sophomore quarterback or a freshman quarterback coming up. That one might be greater than the other one. So you always have that fallback plan where if you go to portal every year, you don't really have anybody developed that's worth a darn, or you wouldn't be going to the portal. So I completely agree with what Ryan Day's doing.
I think Buck Vader put in the chat, you become Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah. Wisconsin's got a little more problems than the quarterback, but yeah.
True.
Yeah, and look, last year, I mean, we had, and this year we had, Lincoln, we had Julian Sayin, we had Tavian. I mean, we had 3 pretty highly sought after quarterbacks on the roster. So it's not like we're just taking a shot with one guy we recruit and praying that it works out. We're recruiting several guys and hoping that all of them work out, and all of them are pretty highly touted. Now, McCord, I've got weird feelings about that guy because I didn't really love him here. But yet, he did pretty well at Syracuse when he had a year under his belt. Now, obviously, the ACC sucks, but he did do some good things there. So I can't rip on him too much. But I like the way we're doing it. We're bringing guys in that fit our system, that want to be here, that have a good relationship with our coaches, and we're rolling with them. And I think that we will see this pay off big time. Or I'm hoping we see this pay off big time this year because Julian's going to have an entire year, almost 2 years now under the program, learning, experiencing it. Now he's got an entire year of playing under his belt, and let's not poo-poo the guy. He was 12-0 in the regular season, and those last 2 games he didn't have I know he made some mistakes. He wasn't perfect, but he didn't have a ton of time to sit back there and throw the rock. And hopefully if the offensive line gets better, he will get better too. So I'm thinking he's on the right track here. We haven't been missing on guys. We've had some stellar quarterbacks. A lot of people would trade with us. If you go back to that list that I just read off, I'm not going to read it again, but you guys know who we've had at quarterback. I think just about any school would trade with us with those dudes we've had under center.
Mika.
Exactly. And like Nate said, we're bringing in multiple high-end level guys. We're not just bringing in one and hoping they make it through the season and hoping for the best. When you bring in guys from the transfer portal, like Vader said, you have to hit on those guys. And because quarterback is such a vital position to the sport, you can't miss. And at Ohio State, we have multiple high-end recruits. Now they don't always get the game experience like they should, but that's another subject for another day. But we do have more talent in that room, raw talent, than just relying on one transfer portal guy and hoping for the best.
Hey, you guys did a thing. What do you think about Brady Edmonds? I know Vader said that we would like Edmonds a lot more than maybe St. Clair, but you and Chris broke it down. Big do. What do you think? Do you think he has a shot to?
I'm going to refer to Mika first. She's our recruiting coordinator. She's the one that studies these guys even more than Chris and I. So, Mika, this is a question up your alley.
He Brady is excellent. Now he's not. He doesn't have the mobility like St. Clair does, but he can he can move. He's not a statue. He can move, and I think they're both tremendously talented. Now like I said, I think St. Clair's a little bit more mobile, but Brady could surprise people with his mobility, and I think they're both going to be possibly generational type guys, and it's going to be interesting to see them compete because they're both very, very talented. From an arm talent standpoint, I think they're both very similar. Brady might have a little bit of an edge against St. Clair in terms of arm talent, but St. Clair's got the edge, I think, in mobility.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mika. Isn't St. Clair a bigger guy?
Uh, no, I think actually they're around the same size.
Are they?
I think St. Clair is like 6'4.5" maybe, and I think Brady's 6'5", somewhere around in there.
Mm.
So they're both similar size and similar traits.
I
Imagine
know that.
Mick gets a hold of Brady. What he could be if he's 6'5".
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember Chris compared him to Ben Roethlisberger when we watched his film. He's like, gosh, this guy's like Ben Roethlisberger. He's not fast, but he's elusive, and you can't tackle him because he's so big and strong, and he's got good hip movement in the pocket, and he's got a wicked strong arm. Tavian St. Clair to me, I'm trying to think of a comparison that I can make.
Justin Fields. I think.
I wouldn't go that route. I think Justin was more athletic.
I think he has the potential to be like Justin Fields, though, if we develop him right.
I'll come back. I'll come back with you, Bart, on who he reminds me of. But I'll say this: when Chris and I went to that practice last year and we watched the three quarterbacks, now they were against air. It was 7-on-7 drills. There was no pressure in their face. Tavian St. Clair threw a prettier ball that day than Lincoln Keenholz did.
Yeah.
Down the field.
Yeah.
And he struggled in the short stuff that day, but it was also like practice number 3 in his career. So like okay, you kind of go give a pass to a true freshman, practice number 3 when you're doing that kind of stuff. But as far as his deep ball, it wasn't shabby at all. So I think he's going to be just fine.
Tavian has tremendous arm talent. I think people look at him athletically and they see the big kid that can run, and they think because he can run, he must not have that great of an arm, or vice versa. And he's got both. He's honestly a dual athlete.
W Buck 21 says possibly a smaller Terrell Pryor. I was almost going to say that, and then I stopped and I hesitated because I remember Terrell Pryor literally just gliding down the field running by everybody. And I was like, yeah, I don't see that from Tavian St. Clair either. I mean, he's athletic, he's quick, but he's not Terrell Pryor like effortlessly fast. That was the thing I remember about Terrell Pryor was he didn't look like he was even trying to run, and he was running by everybody. It was just effortless. that guy in today's day football, he was about 5 years ahead of his time.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, one thing I would say too about, doing this portal business with their quarterback, that's, fantastic, I guess, if your guy stays healthy all year. But one of these guys goes down with an injury. A lot of times when you bring these transfers in, the guys that you did recruit leave because they know they're not going to get to play. I mean, you look back, obviously we can't stack dudes like we used to, but you go back to that team that had we were 3 deep and we won the national championship with our third quarterback. I don't see those days anymore, but we still have depth at the position. A lot of these other teams do not, that are going out. I mean, what if Fernando Mendoza gets hurt? You think that Indiana's winning the national championship with his brother? I mean, I certainly do not. I know Carson Beck, as we already talked about, didn't lead Miami to the championship. But if he was to re-injure that elbow, I'm not so sure they got as far as they did. So you want to have guys, develop through your system, competing for the job. I keep coming back to that word. But I think last year when, Lincoln and Julian were fighting for the position, we can speculate as to how big of a competition that really was. But I do think making that a competition and making one of the guys earn the job helped them.
That's exactly what I said. Like, as long as we're stacking talent, you can have faith in the guys that you have if there's an injury there. If you put all your chips in the transfer portal, you don't have that safety net in a violent sport like football if someone gets hurt.
Let's end the show with this question. And I already know your guys' answers, but I just, for my own curiosity, gotta make sure. And then we'll close the poll out and we'll talk about that. Would you trade Julian Sain for any other quarterback in college that straight up, it doesn't matter, on any other team, any other quarterback, would you trade Julian Sain for any other quarterback? And if so, who is it?
No. He's probably the best pocket passer given time that's ever been at Ohio State. Pure none. His deep ball, intermediate routes, short. He is just probably the best pure passer I've seen at Ohio State. I would not trade him for anything.
You mean for Ohio State?
Yep.
No. I mean, we went after this guy. We brought him in. He's been in the system for over 2.5 years now. What are we doing if you want somebody else besides him? What are we doing? I definitely think this is the guy. I think he played well this year, and I think he'll play better next year. So I like Darian Mensah. I really thought he had a tremendous season at Duke. Hell, Duke won the ACC championship, guys. Not that that's a huge feat, but for Duke it is. And I like him, but would I pay him $10 million to come take Julian Sain's job? No, I would not.
Absolutely not. What Julian Sain did this last year was tremendously impressive, and I think people disregarding that just because of his last 2 games, and that shouldn't be the case. What he did was historic in terms of the completion percentage he put up in his first year as a starter. Like, I would not trade him for any other quarterback right now, especially with another season under his belt. If he spends the offseason working on his mobility and his sliding and stuff, I think he's going to be a monster next year. I absolutely would not trade him for any other QB.
I do like Arch. And I liked him last year, and I think he's going to be good next year. He's good, dude. He had problems at O-line this year, but he's a good player, and you saw a little glimpse of it in that game against Michigan. I think he's going to be good, but would I even trade him for Julian? I would not. I did like Ed Rogers' comment. I'd trade Ryan for Cignetti. I might do that, but I don't know if I'd trade even for Arch.
Vader, I think Buck Vader he nailed it right here. Tavian St. Clair reminds me of Deshaun Watson. From Clemson, Deshaun Watson. That's a great comparison.
On the field or off the field, Deshaun?
On the field, not in the massage
Okay.
room.
Hey,
No,
In college or for the Browns?
for Clemson.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that.
Hey, let's not put that on TSC, please. Like, yeah.
I thought that was your nugget you were going to drop, Eric. So
No. All right, let's close out this poll, and then we'll talk about it. Should Ryan Day change his quarterback philosophy? Dead even. 50% yes, 50% no.
Wow, that surprises me.
yeah, very.
Me too.
Interesting. Well, Larry Daniels earlier had a great comment that should give everybody pause about this, and without blindly just saying no, of course he shouldn't, because I think statistics actually do mean something. Here it is. The most successful teams since NIL have had purchased quarterbacks. That also includes Ohio State.
Yep.
That is statistically true.
It is.
Statistics can be manipulated, though.
Not that one.
Not that one. Yeah, that's pretty.
You either recruited and developed that quarterback, or that quarterback came to you via the transfer portal. And more times than not, it has come from the transfer portal for the national championship winning team.
I just need a bigger sample size.
Yeah.
That's fair, Mika. That's fair. I agree with you on that. Everybody, if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. When this video ends, feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. That'll help more people find the video tonight and into tomorrow and watch it. And then hopefully they will subscribe to the channel and become like you, a part of our community. If you want to be an inner part of the O on this community, head on over to Patreon. Here in about 5 minutes, we're going to start the super secret after show in the asylum. And we're going to drop the biggest nugget Vader has ever dropped. So we'll see you guys over there. 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. We'll see you over on Patreon, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Till next time, you all know what to do. Be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen Ohio with all your heart. OH!
I
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
So sad.